Hello, TikTok. Hello, Facebook. Good morning. Happy Monday to everyone. Thank you guys so much for jumping on here and watching the replay. So if you're on Facebook, you can watch the replay. Hit hashtag replay in the comments. But if you're on TikTok and you happen to jump on this live, you can see the replay on YouTube. So once again, thank y'all so much for jumping on. I am Corinthia Williams, your transformational and self-love coach. And what I do, I help women transform mind, body, and soul. And so on this morning, I am hosting what we like to call here is Queen's Chat. So if you don't know, I also have a podcast called the Queen's Chat podcast, and you can get that from the link above my video, or on Facebook you can get that link from my profile. But we have girl chats. We talk about women issues, self-love, self-care, motivation, mindset, all that good stuff to keep you motivated and keep you going throughout your week, throughout your day, and hopefully throughout your life. Okay, and so on today we're talking about how to start a self-love journey. All right, so February is just a couple of days away, and since I am the self-love coach, February is considered the love month. We all know that. And so for the month of February up to Valentine's Day, you can get my ebook, 30 Days to Greater Self-Love ebook. You can get that from the link. I'll put the link here on Facebook as well. You can get the ebook, download it right then and there. It's the ebook, but your name will be put into a drawing to win one of our queen necklaces. Okay, and so if you get the ebook from today or up until Valentine's Day, you'll be put in a contest to win our queen's necklace. And so all month I will be talking about self-love. I talk about that anyway, but we're going to go more in depth this month for self-love for the month of February. And so on today, we're going to talk about how to start a self-love journey, right? So a lot of times you guys know that we like to get our nails done, our hair done, get our feet done, our pedicures, manicures, facials, all that good stuff. But that is a form of self-love. But self-love, I believe, goes a lot deeper than just the maintenance, right? Just going to the hair salon or going to the nail shop or what have you. Self-love to me is really tapping into self, knowing your likes and your dislikes, knowing what makes you happy, setting healthy boundaries, things of that nature is truly self-love. And so I tell my story a lot of times, but if you're new to me and you're not quite sure, let me give you a little background. And so years ago, okay, I started a self-love journey and I stumbled across it, right? I didn't know that it was called a self-love journey. We're talking over 20 years ago, y'all. I am 47 and proud of it. And so I've been on a self-love, self-healing journey for a while. And that's why I feel as though I'm qualified, not only that I'm a self-love coach, but I'm qualified to share my experiences with other women to help you as well. And so I stumbled across it because I was at the lowest of the lowest place for myself at that time. I found myself at the age of 22, divorced, right? Yeah, your girl was divorced, married and divorced. You gotta get married then divorced, right? I found myself divorced and a mother of a toddler at the age of 22. And I didn't know what to do. Right? So growing up, I came from a household of molestation, of abuse, of physical abuse, mental abuse, all kind of things went on in my household. And so I had no clue of how to, number one, be an adult, right? I'm only 22 at this time. Who knows how to be a real adult at the age of 22, or a mother, or somebody that came from nothing and now you have to build something out of nothing, right? So all my life I was in a victim mentality and I had to rely on other people to teach me and to guide me and tell me what exactly to do because I had no clue. I had no clue of how to live this thing called life. And so when I said I stumbled across it, because I was at a place of trying to end my life. I thought about ending my life several times as a child, and at that point as an adult, when I thought it was all over and done. But I say it all the time, my oldest son, who's now about to turn 26, like, but he helped save my life. Because I looked over at this innocent baby, right? I looked over at this child and I said, I can't end it all. Now I got something to live for. And so at that point in my life, I realized, you know what? I have to find me. And to me, that's what self-love is all about. Self-love is about finding the true you. So if you were on my live Friday, I brought the question, I wanted you to answer the question, who am I? Right? Because a lot of times I know firsthand that life shows you and tells you and program you on who you are, what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to live, what happiness is, what's this like, what's the most popular thing, and all these things, right? Life tells us that. Social media tells us that. The internet tells us that. And we are sometimes, most of us are programmed to believe the hype. Let me just say it like that. Most of us are programmed to believe these lies or someone else's truth, right? About how to live our lives. And so on Friday, I asked the question, who are you? Because a lot of times we don't know who we truly are from the core, right? We know that we're moms. We know that we work for the government. We go to college. We have a degree. We know that we are leaders in our churches and all these things. We can relate and tell somebody our titles, right? Those are titles. But that really doesn't say who you are. Right? That really doesn't say what your standards are, what your morals are, what do you stand for. So I want you to think about who you truly are. And I want you to really dig in and ask yourself those tough questions of, who am I? Why do I do things the way I do them? Right? And that's when you start your self-love journey. Because when I was at the age of 22 looking down at this little boy, and I'm like, yo, what am I about to do? What I don't want to be here anymore. I don't see the purpose. What is my purpose? Why am I here? Just to get abused, just to be taken advantage of? But no, at that point in time, I said, you know what? I'm here to help him. So that gave me the willpower to keep going, right? It gave me the willpower to say, you know what, I do want to live. I want to live for him, but I need to find out me and what's my purpose here. And so I stumbled across self-love because at that point, like I said, I had no clue. Nobody was talking self-love and self-care back then, right? I'm talking 20 plus years ago. No one was talking about self-love. No one was talking about self-care. We were talking about what was going on 20 years ago. I don't know. But we was trying to live our lives at the age of 20, right? 20s, early 20s. You try and figure it out, right? It was totally different back then. So when I say I stumbled across self-love, I truly stumbled across this process, this thing called self-love, because I had to heal. And a lot of times we get to that place. It takes us time to get to that place of self-love and identifying ourselves and self-discovery, because we're at a place of, you know what, I'm just tired. I'm going to put my hands up. I don't want to do this no more. I need a fresh start. And we get to that place. So hopefully where I'm meeting you at this conversation, you might be at that place, but I hope that you're not at that place as of yet. Because for me, when I started my self-love journey, right, I was at that place, right? I was at that place of wanting to give up on life. I was at that place of sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was at that place of not knowing who I truly was, or let alone what my purpose was, right? And so I was at that place of sick and tired. But I wish I would have learned before I was there. right? I wish I was able to learn myself in the beginning. And so where I'm meeting you at on today, hopefully you're at a place where you like, you know what, I'm not sick and tired. My life is cool. You know, it is what it is. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, I think, but actually at a happier place than I was, right? And you're willing and ready to make a decision to say, you know what, I can do better. See, self-love journey, we think of it at a negative place. Hey, Queen. Hey, Queens. Thank y'all so much for joining me on Facebook and on TikTok. Thank y'all so much. And I see those hearts going up on TikTok. Thank y'all. So a lot of times we are at that place of hurt, pain. You want to restart. And so we focus on us. I'm going to do me. 2023, I'm going to do me. We say things like that. But I want you to be at a place where, you know what, this is something I really want to do because I need to know who I am, where I'm going, what life is all about, right? And so I want you to be at that place. But either or, self-love journey is for everyone. That's self-love, self-healing, self-discovery, whatever you want to call it, honey. Self-care. We got so many different names for it, but it's for everyone. Not when you're at your lowest, but it also at your highest, right? Because I think as women, I'm just talking to the ladies, right? I just think as women, we need to have those standards for ourselves. Know what we want and what we don't want. Know how we want to move and how we're not going to move. What we're willing to accept and what we're not willing to accept. We should have all those things in mind before anything, right? Before the marriage, before the relationship, before starting a new job, before cultivating friendships. Because a lot of times, I think I put this on Facebook today, people treat you the way that you allow them to, something like that, right? People know how to treat you from what you are willing to tolerate and stand, right? So if you at a place where you really don't have those standards for yourself, that love language, not knowing your love language, not knowing your healthy boundaries and what you're willing, what your no's are and what your yeses are, guess what? Somebody going to tell you that, okay? People are going to tell you that by how they treat you. And a lot of times, unfortunately, but if you don't know how you want to be treated, how you going to treat somebody a certain way? So it's all about, I'm looking for my charger. Here it is. It's all about loving yourself, knowing how to love yourself, knowing your love languages, knowing your boundaries, creating boundaries, knowing what you stand for. And like I said, I stumbled across this thing called self-love at the lowest time of my adulthood, I truly believe. And it has evolved in so many ways. Okay, there we go. A self-love journey is a continual journey. And I know a lot of us don't want to hear that, right? A lot of us don't want to hear. We want to hear one and done. We want to hear, I did that for a good my 90 days or my 30 days of self-love. You know what? It's good. Like the ebook I got, 30 Days to Greater Self-Love. I did the ebook. I'm good. No, that's just the beginning. It's a continual process of loving yourself unconditionally, loving yourself, knowing when to say no, knowing when to say yes. As we grow older and as we grow within our self-love journeys, we want to learn more and more about ourselves, right? You're going to learn more about yourself. Your likes and dislikes going to change, right? Like I said, when I started, I was 22. 22. Now I'm 47. So my likes and my dislikes definitely changed. But I learned how to navigate this journey called self-love better because I started and I continued. I didn't stop. I evaluated where I was. I evaluated what I dealt with, how I felt. Taking moments for me to evaluate what I feel. Journaling. My best friend, journaling my progress, journaling my feelings and my thoughts. And so it's a lot to self-love, and everyone's journey is different. I'm in a process of writing a book where I put my steps in one book, right? So once I start promoting that, I'll talk more about that. But on today, coming to you, and we're going to just start at the beginning, right? How to start a self-love journey. Starting a self-love journey can be a daunting task, right? It is something that requires great deal of commitment and dedication, right? And you deserve it. You deserve that commitment and dedication. We give that to everybody else. If we got moms on here, listen, we give it to our kids, our spouses, our job. Now it's time. Now is a perfect time to start for you. Start giving you a commitment and dedication. However, it is an important part of self-care and can make a huge difference in our lives. And I am a living witness of that. Because if I didn't start that journey of loving myself and self-discovery at the age that I was at, who knows where I would be now? Because I was a victim of mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse. I was a victim of homelessness. I was a victim of drug addiction. You know, I wasn't on drugs, but my mother and my mother's boyfriend was doing drugs. My caregiver was doing drugs. I would have been a statistic. Honestly, can we be 100? I would have been a statistic. And we can run down the list of statistics I could have been. But when I made the decision to love myself and discover my true identity, right? My true purpose, not that I'm just a mom, not that, you know, I'm divorced, none of that. I had to figure out who Corinthia was. And I want you to do the same thing, okay? So here are some tips to help you start yourself on this self-love journey. And the first one is acknowledge your feelings, right? And I think I said that a little earlier. In your process, you got to stop for a moment and not react so fast. And acknowledge how you feel. It is important to recognize your feelings and to be honest with yourself. Acknowledge your positive and negative emotions and don't be afraid to express them. As a victim at that time, I suppressed my feelings. I suppressed my pain. I suppressed my anger, right? So I suppressed my feelings to the point of how I didn't know how to feel in certain situations. I can give you an example. When my mother passed away, right? At the age, when I was 9 years old, my mom passed away. Now, mind you, my mother was my first encounter of abuse. She sexually abused me, mentally abused me, and physically abused me, okay? She was on drugs for as long as I was alive, for those 9 years. And she passed away. And when I was told, right, we're talking about how I suppressed my feelings. When I was told that my mother passed away, I had no reaction. It was like I just was numb. Okay, can I go out and play? So when you are doing life, we might just stop this here and finish up on Friday. But when you're doing life, right? And when life happens, those hard things, those tough things, those things that we try to suppress our feelings and our emotions about, and we don't want to ruffle no feathers, and we don't want to hurt anybody else's feelings. And when you've been a victim of so much hurt and pain, you tend to suppress those feelings. Or, you know, a lot of times children that age, they act out. So whatever way you deal with your emotions, it's hard to become an adult and not have those same reactions to certain situations. You got those triggers and you don't know why it's triggering you, but it's really triggering you because you didn't deal with it, right? Sometimes we don't deal with our stuff. A lot of us. You know, we can be in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 80s, 90s. We don't deal with stuff. And coming up in the culture that I came up in, we dare not to tell nobody what's going on in our house, right? You don't tell what's going on in the house. You keep your mouth shut. What goes on in this house stays in this house, right? And so I suppressed so many feelings and emotions and heartaches and pains, and I did not acknowledge how I felt. I just swept it under the rug. I was just trying to figure out life. I was trying to be, at a point in time, finish school, go to college. I was trying to be this person for the world to see, to say, I'm okay. It's nothing wrong with me. I was trying to prove the world that I was okay. I wore this mask on a daily basis, trying to be this good student, trying to be this good girlfriend, then wife, and accepting mess, because I thought that's all I could afford to have, because nobody wanted me. I was abandoned. I was an orphan. I went through hell, and I kept it all in, and I ain't tell nobody, and I didn't know how to feel. And so when I had to come to myself and realize, you know what, I don't have a clue. Now, that's just my story. This might not be your story, but I didn't have a clue of who I was, what I stood for, why I was even living, right? I didn't know how to feel. I didn't have a clue on anything. And when I came to myself, I was like numb. And I remember it so vividly. I cried and I cried. I think I cried and stayed in the bed for at least 3 days, because I could not believe I was at this place. And a lot of you are at those certain places in your life where you're like, yo, how did I get here? How did I get here again? How did this happen? What happened? I don't know what to do. And a lot of times you don't have the answer, or you on that same cycle, because you don't know or love self. You have to start where you are. And unfortunately, some of us had to start at that lowest of the low places. But if you're not at your lowest of low, you still can start, because you never know what life has for you later on today, tomorrow, or even next year, or 10 years from now. We don't know what life is going to hand us. But when you are more aware of your emotions and acknowledge your feelings, and know how to properly express them without cussing somebody out, doing something violent, suppressing them. That's a way of actually suppressing your feelings, is a way of expressing your feelings, because now you just suppress them and not deal with it. But in actuality, you are dealing with it, right? You just turning your head from it and acting as if it's not there, but it's always coming out in some type of behavior. So I want you on today, this beautiful Monday, I'm trying to get back to my position on here. On this beautiful Monday, I want you to start your self-love journey, right? I want you to start it. And you probably like, Queen, I don't know where to start. And that's good. That's perfect. To say I don't know where to start, guess what? That's a start. To acknowledge that you don't know how to do something, what we just say, acknowledge your feelings. That's the first start to this thing. So if you don't know where to start, listen. If you're on TikTok, or even if you're watching this on Facebook and you're not a member of the Queen's Tribe, it's a community on Facebook that's totally free. Go and click and join that membership, because it's myself and over 100 women there, where we are all on this journey together. We're helping one another. We're loving on one another. We're holding each other up, right? That's your first step, is to join the Queen's Tribe. Let's get connected and stay connected, okay? If I am saying something or you feel my vibe, make sure you follow me here on social media. Join the tribe, our private community. Get your hands on the 30 Days to Greater Self-Love ebook and start your journey. This is all up to you. I can come on here live every day. I can sit in your living room. I can go to your job with you and talk your ear off. But until you make the decision to move and put in the work will never get done. right? And so I want you to put in the work today. I want you to join the community. I need you to stay connected with me. If I'm that voice for you in this season, stay connected with me here on social media, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, where have you. I'm reachable, right? Stay connected. Get your hands on the ebook, 30 Days to Greater Self-Love. You can click on the link in my in my bio, and let's start this process. Let me help you. Help me help you, right? Help me help you in your process of self-discovery, self-love, and most definitely self-healing. So we're going to dive into some more on Friday. I done talked your ears off today. Make sure you have your notifications on to know when I go live here on TikTok and on Facebook. And let's do this together. Let's start the month of December, Lord. The month of February together on the loving ourselves. Loving ourselves. Let's make a conscious effort to love ourselves. Amen. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get off of here. We've been on here for about 30 minutes now. Thank y'all so much for rocking out with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure that you stay connected with me. Have your notifications on. Come on, let's start this community. Let's start this growing and healing together. And I truly believe that you will, once you start, you're going to like your process. It's going to get a little dark. It's going to hurt sometimes. You might even cry. But your process is your process. And there's no rush in this thing. Just stay consistent with it. All right? So listen, guys. I love you, but God loves you more. And I'm going to see each of you at the top because there's no more room at the bottom. Be blessed, guys. Stay fabulous. And I will see you Friday. Listen, the time will change to 12:30. Okay? I got 2 college kids, so my schedule is a little messed up now, so it's now 12:30. I'll put a reminder out there on Thursday, so meet me here at 12:30 on Friday, and it's going to be 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, Monday and Friday. All right, be blessed, guys. Have a marvelous day. All right, stay fabulous. Look, I gotta remember how to end this one.